Hello. Now, please indulge me here for just a second. Let me live in the moment because, after all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Now, I'm serious. Can everybody please smile? I just gotta have proof, you know. Cameraman, can you please smile too, please? Thank you. And before I go any farther, let me give a special thanks and a shout out to El Paso for their advice and help. Hello, educators. I'm Rossingh. I will be attending Permian High School in Odessa, Texas as a sophomore. Yes, that is the high school the movie Friday Night Lights was based on. No, I don't play football. I'm an AVID. Now, all kidding aside, let me tell you my story. Let me introduce you to my biological mother. She's an addict to drugs, abusive men, and running from the law. She's a thief, a manipulator, a liar, and everyone else is responsible for her problems. My biological father, well, that's anyone's guess. But let me tell you about my real parents. My maternal grandparents took me and my brothers in and loved us as their own. They have stuck with me through the ups and downs of my life. They have loved me even when I thought I didn't love them. Without their love and support, I probably wouldn't be free or even alive. Thanks, Mom and Dad. My biological mother hurts herself with her addictions daily, and she doesn't realize how much she hurts me in the process. In fact, this hurt is impossible to leave at home. I don't put it on and off like a jacket. It's my skin. You see, because I let my biological mother's problems become my own, I began to take on her characteristics. Isn't that strange? I began to steal. I did drugs. I became involved in a gang. I lied. I manipulated teachers, my parents who raised me, and everyone around me. I was a student that teachers loved to hate. I was a student that loved to talk back to the teachers and disrupt the class, your typical class clown. However, my clowning usually got me in trouble because of my mouth. I always itched and loved to get into fights. I used to make C's, B's, 1 or 2 A's here and there. Nothing impressive. I didn't even know what I was doing sitting in a pre-AP class. In the first semester, like I mentioned before, I used to be in a gang and do all of these bad things. But then in the second semester, Mrs. Hart came into the picture. You see, Mrs. Hart isn't your ordinary teacher. She's like a best friend and a mega teaching machine put together. She brought me out of my shell, educationally speaking, and along with my grandfather, she put a future ahead of me, a future I would never have envisioned. Interestingly enough, I met Mrs. Hart in the first semester before she became my teacher when I tried out for our school's talent show, but I had no idea who she was. All I knew is she was the choir director's wife. When Mrs. Hart began teaching the AVID program, her original thought about me was I was a thug and hanging around in the wrong crowd. My original thought about her was she was going to be a dull teacher, no fun at all. Boy, was I wrong. She's awesome. The lesson I learned from that is you can't judge a book by its cover. As soon as the second semester began, AVID began making everything clear. All of a sudden, the tutors became useful to me. unlike the way I felt the first semester. My peers also encouraged me to do way better, unlike the kids I was hanging out with before. The principal obstacle my new family, meaning the AVID, teacher, tutors, and classmates, helped me to overcome is to get out of my gang and not go toward that lifestyle. Mrs. Hart and one of our tutors, Miss Allen, were doing a binder check one day and saw one of my gang-related drawings. And they were like, "What's this? What's that doing in there?" By questioning me about the drawing and making me think about the consequences to my actions, they helped me out of the gang life. But it wasn't easy. I finally figured it out. Gangs don't offer college scholarships. AVID has also drawn me closer to the right kind of peers and has empowered me to excel academically in class, meaning to be the one in class raising his hand at every question thrown at him. I understand why I'm sitting in the front row of that pre-AP class now. After recognizing that nobody in my family ever graduated and went to college, it really has made me think. My grandfather used to tell me, "Mijo, ve al colegio y mejórate. Trabaja con la mente y no con el sudor." Go to college and make something of yourself. Work with your mind, not your back. I listened to him, but I didn't think anything of it until AVID. Now my focus is on my grades and going to school to get my education, and not on video games and going out on weekends. I also am way more responsible than I was. I have developed into a more mature person by taking care of schoolwork, keeping up with my grades, putting my discipline in check, and owning up to most of my mistakes. By learning what a grade point average, or GPA, was, I now know how much more I need to strive to keep my grades up. Two of our tutors, Miss Black and Miss Porter, are pretty awesome with assisting my classmates and me in answering our academic questions. After learning how to use the Socratic method, I now answer questions with questions, delving deeper into my knowledge, conquering high-level academic questions. Socrates said, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." The tutors have been a lot of help, and I've learned how to keep my GPA up by setting goals, making plans, and taking action. Not only am I concerned with my grades, but I also have dreams I want to fulfill. AVID is helping accomplish goals to achieve that dream. My occupational dreams change daily, but I do know this. I will be a college graduate. Not just a high school graduate, but a college graduate. The old Ron still lives inside of me and creeps out when I'm angry, of course. But I have changed. I am a new Ron. Mrs. Owen, my 8th grade English teacher, asked Mrs. Hart, "What did you do to Ron? Did you make a good clone of him and stuff the old mean one away?" I've learned to keep up with my grades all because of AVID. I've learned to recognize the importance of my college tutors. I've learned to pursue college instead of gangs. I've learned to choose the right kind of friends, ones that will build me up and not drag me down. I've learned to dream, I've learned to dream, and I have learned to dream. Now, I'm the student teachers can't help but love. Thank you.